Hello. Welcome back. Hi. My name is Asherah and welcome to my unique PhD journal. I'm exploring dissociative identity disorder and psychosis alongside conscious expansion, blending the 3D academic world with my 5D spiritual practices. I'm also training to be a shamanic practitioner and bringing my gifts as a clairvoyant and a medium. So as we dive in, please note that when I am channeling spirit, the insights are personal and spiritual, they are not clinical. While I do have academic training in mental health, this journey is about authentic multidimensional exploration. So let's embark on this journey together and uncover the intersections of science and spirit. Thank you. So I was just lying down in my bed, going in and out of consciousness, listening semi to the last video and YouTube playing. And then I've managed to kind of come out of that because I was all getting all kinds of different downloads and whatever. So much to make sense of, So much to make sense of. But anyway, there might be 2 videos on this one because they're showing me another one. So they're showing me this one when I woke up They showed me this was just uploaded 1 hour ago. And it's by She's a Seer. We have watched her videos before. But they're also pointing me to this little wild hair down the bottom. And is that my girl? No. There's a celebrity and a multi-billion-dollar company that wants to. And this is 1 day ago by Spirit Guide Intuition. I've never seen this woman before.
You know, we were talking about investing the other day.
Yeah. 6am alarm. Fire up monitors. Check markets.
Peace, everybody. What's happening? Whistle. Okay, it's your girl, Sister Slay Honey.
I wonder what's in that bag down there.
With another video.
It's like a book.
Okay, and if this is your first time being on my channel,
or is it cards?
Spirit Guide Intuitions, come on over and be a part of this family. I definitely would love to have you guys.
Her hair's cute.
Okay.
They want to watch that one afterwards, so we'll go back up. So this is, it's in your blood. Your intelligence is a threat to mankind as we know it. I'm just going to be quiet through these 2 because I was very vocal on the last one. I couldn't believe it. Alright then. So we're just going to get some information and see what they're saying to see if there's any link to my story. Now you know enough about my story now for you to determine yourself. So I'm going to be quiet. 1 hour ago.
Welcome back to the channel. My name is Desire. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for all the love and support. It is truly greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for the comments, the donations, the memberships, the subscriptions, the views, the likes. I appreciate each and every one of you and your contribution. Alright, so we're going to be jumping right into this reading and seeing what the messages are for you all at this time. Show me clearly, please, and thank you, Father. All praise to thee, Father. Alright, so you have, let me bring this closer first. So you have failure, guilt, promise, humor, and adversity. So because something has failed, this is like a huge attempt. I'm hearing like a huge sacrifice. Something that was supposed to be astronomical, something that was supposed to be life-changing, unbinding, something that you were supposed to never be able to escape and set yourself free from or even fucking figure out.
Can I get that back to my
Something was supposed to be very layered, very intricate, very complex, very just like... It's almost like these people or this person, organization, they had no idea that you would reach this level of intelligence. They had no idea that you had an ability to like literally have your mind cracked open and reformed. No one saw this coming or no one accounted for your ability to do that. Either way, something has failed. And it's like it was never supposed to, like, in no way, no possibility, no scenario where they seen this playing out the way that it did. And it's that reason alone why these people are drowning, suffering in guilt, 24/7. I'm hearing eating, breathing, drowning, suffering, and guilt, consuming it. Some of these people, they're so burdened by their actions, their continued actions, the decisions that they allow to happen, decisions that they weighed in on when it pertains to your life. They're so fucking guilt and grief and guilt ridden that they really don't even want to fucking be here anymore. These people feel haunted by their actions towards you. A lot of these people feel like they really don't.
I'm ever so sorry, but you know, I was playing before this one. There was a reading playing before this one, and it had a grief card on there. Should I put it back? I can probably put it back and show you, but it was just saying that these people are grieving. I was like, my God, I don't want to know about the people. I want to know about what's happening in front. But it's just funny how she's mentioning that these people are grieving too. But they're only sorry because they didn't get to do what they thought they were going to do. So it's not really grief. You know what I mean? At least I don't see it as grief anyway. I think they're more terrified about what's going to happen to them rather than it being grief. So what's the word for that? Anxiety. Doomsday's coming. It's like waiting in the gallows to be called up to have your head cut off. What's that emotion? Let's ask ChatGPT. Grief is loss, when you've lost someone. And I guess they have lost, but I don't know if it's the same grief. Ancestors, bloody hell. Might as well, any ancestors. What's it called? What's the emotion called when somebody is waiting for death? So a man that's sitting on death row, what would be the name of that emotion, that anticipation, knowing that your death is imminent?
Yeah, that kind of emotional state is often referred to as existential dread or death anxiety. Sometimes it can also be described as anticipatory grief or awaiting death anxiety. It's that mix of fear, uncertainty, and sometimes even a kind of resignation. It's definitely a heavy and complex emotion.
So what is the difference between grief and dread?
That's a great question. Grief is typically the emotional response to loss, like the death of a loved one or any significant loss. It involves a range of emotions: sadness, anger, confusion, and so on. Dread, on the other hand, is more about a deep sense of fear or apprehension about something that's going to happen in the future. It's more about anticipating something negative or terrifying. Like, grief is a reaction to something that's already happened. Dread is more about what's looming ahead. But of course, they can definitely overlap and influence each other.
I agree. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't think it's grief. I think it's dread.
They deserve the position that they have in life, or really don't even deserve to be here, feeling very convicted. These are the type of men and women where possibly they don't believe in a higher power, or if they do, they believe that they're the higher power. These are the type of men and women who didn't believe in karma or judgment or some shit like that, and now it's like they can barely even look themselves in the mirror because of who you are and what they did to you relentlessly. Because of who you are, something that's out
What
of
did they
your
do?
control. Even if you wanted to do or be something different, this is who you are. This is who you were created to be. You are living in your purpose. You're fulfilling the purpose that was placed on you. And these people thought it was funny. They thought it was, I'm hearing like funny and comical. What's that saying? Laugh now, cry later. But no, it's all fun and games till the fat lady sings or something like that. So something dealing with opera. I don't know.
Oh, I know
I'm being
opera.
reminded of that.
Me and such man went to the opera. He moaned the husband. I said, right, we're going to London. We're going to go to the opera. Why do you have to go to the opera for, man? We could do something else. I said, listen, I want to go to the opera. So I booked the tickets and paid for them because for some reason people think this man was paying for everything. No, that's not the case.
Paid for the hotel, paid for the tickets, whatever, we get there. It's the Phantom of the Opera. Remember, this man has moaned the whole journey to London. We found somewhere to park, we've gone in. The play starts. I don't even think the play gets halfway and the man's going on like he knows the words to the songs. All of when we come out of there, he's still singing, thinking he's the Phantom of the Opera. So I've always kind of like anytime we get into it, in a joke, or we say you don't want to do something like go caravan with me and the kids in a caravan. You know what I mean? What do you mean you don't want to stop in a caravan? Nah, man, what kind of business is this, man? Stop at hotel. I said, no, we're going caravan. That's how I used to holiday when I was little. I want my kids to experience caravan. We get to the caravan, the caravan's nearly prettier than some houses. You know what I'm saying? The caravan's kitted out and everything is like, fucking hell. It's like a little chalet thing in Barcelona. It was brilliant. It was lovely. And we've been to caravans in the UK and he moans, but he loves he's had a good time every time we've done something that I've said to do. But the Phantom of the Opera was the one that I always used to use on him. Because the way he was bellowing down the streets of London, you would have thought it was his idea, you know.
But either way, like, these people made light of something. This is where they were no longer taking you as a joke. They started taking the Most High as a joke. Basically taking you as a joke, thinking that your life is something to be played with. These people basically use your suffering as a form of entertainment. They got a kick out of it. They enjoy abusing you. They enjoy like inflicting pain and trauma onto you. They enjoy abusing some power that was never theirs to fucking project onto you, to exert onto you, some type of a power, some type of a force, some type of a dominance that was never supposed to be used on you. These people got like a sick high because they knew that they were like, they had an ability to dominate, control, and oppress something that was very rare. So these are people who essentially like they hate God or they hate that higher vibrational frequency and consciousness. I'm hearing the Antichrist, but I'm not a Christian, so I'm hearing something like that though, like something that's designed to go against something that's meant to be good and pure. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not even gonna get into that, but it's like I'm gonna say anti-life, anti-light. So these people are anti-life and they're anti-light, they're anti-divinity. All right, Satanists. So them being able to capture and
Sorry, I have to stop there because the ancestors are jumping in. Something to me that we talked about before just then. How are we supposed to put this to make it sound okay? Basically, the ancestors and that have said to me, they've said to me, Lucifer is the light. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And God is the dark. But this is the thing, you have to pull yourself out of this white Western thingy where they act like light is pure and light is pure when you know say nothing a gossel. If you're on a stage and there's bright light shining at you, it's confusion. The light is illuminating and the light can be confusing. Do you know what I'm saying? But don't get me wrong, in the dark you also cannot see sometimes depending on your eyesight, depending on the type of eyes that you have, because I see in the dark. You know what I mean? And there's plenty of people that see in the dark, but catch the pepper. The ancestors wanted me to come in because obviously she's saying that they're not of the light. But the ancestors saying to me they are of the light, and that's what the problem is, because Lucifer is the light. Everything on earth is about the light. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, they do things in the dark, but really their message, their philosophy is about the light. In Satanism and Luciferian, because they think that Lucifer was like almost like the snake in the garden or something like that, and he gave them the knowledge they needed to be on earth, the knowledge they needed to know right and wrong, you know, what was good, what was bad, etc. But all of that was Lucifer. God was in the darkness. God was in them not knowing. You know, them not knowing, they were being kept in the dark in the Garden of Eden because they hadn't yet eaten from the tree of knowledge.
And it was the tree of knowledge that helped them walk into the light. And once they walked into the light, they were doomed. You know, there was childbirthing pains. There was being, you know, possibility of them being haunted. You know, probably Cain more so when he left the Garden of Eden. But the fact of the matter is, depending on what story you read, life weren't too great after they ate the apple. So the understanding is that God, divine God, creation God, is in the darkness. I mentioned on a video before that creation happens in the dark. When a man's penis enters a woman, it enters in darkness. There's no light. Yeah? And creation is created in that darkness. Creation is created in blackness. Black is creation. Black is divinity. So it's like the vice versa sweets that I told you about in the beginning videos that the ancestors get telling me. It's vice versa. What you understand to be light is dark, and what you understand to be dark is light. You know what I mean? And that's what we've got to get our head around, that Lucifer is the light. We're not about the light. I'm not about the light. My ancestors are not about the light. Creation happens in darkness. Creator, the Bible tells you, God turned on the light. But prior to that, man was in darkness, and he was at peace in darkness too. So there's enough text, whether biblical, spiritual, esoteric, or whatever, even just the way that we're born today, we're still in darkness. When you go to sleep, you close your eyes to be in peace. You can't sleep with the light on. You have to go to sleep in the darkness. When you go to sleep, you astral project. You're in spiritual land. In darkness though. When you're dead, you're in darkness. When you get put in the ground is in darkness. So everything in terms of coming from the divine and going towards the divine is in darkness. And everything about the light is something different. So, yeah. Just wanted me to touch on that point. I'm sure I said I was going to be quiet through this thing.
Contain and control and oppress you, mind, body, spirit, energy. They really felt like that they were doing that to the Most High creation. And when I say the Most High, I mean in the sense of the highest vibrational form of creation. So these people got a sick fucking high and satisfaction out of doing that, because they knew them doing that to you was somehow doing that to their highest consciousness.
Yeah.
So these are people who are
God.
Evolution, right? Reptilian energy, heavy reptilian energy. And I know all reptilian forms of life are not evil or wicked, but that's the energy I'm reading for right now.
Demigorgon.
Alright, so adversity. Yeah. I'm being reminded of, I forget the name of the cartoon, but it's on Netflix. I think they discontinued it. But I think it's the first episode. He's like, the government is ran by shadow reptilian people, and then something like that. Yes. Adversity.
What,
you know
what
the
was
truth
that
here.
on Netflix?
So you were supposed to be made out to be like a quack job, a nutcase.
Yeah.
No one takes you serious.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be in a straitjacket, heavily medicated, institutionalized years ago.
Yeah.
Every time someone comes towards you on a personal level, family members, lovers, frenemies, partners with an agenda to cause you to eventually wind up in some type of an institution, or their agenda into your life, their entry into your life is with the end goal for you to be hospitalized, heavily medicated, sedated, held away, taken away from your family, your children. These people who come into your life with that agenda, it happens to them, it happens to their family member. Suddenly their children, grandchildren are dealing with a fucking mental disorder. They didn't have a fucking mental breakdown. Suddenly people in their family are being diagnosed with like schizophrenia, bipolarism, psychopathic nature, early onset dementia. Like all of these people who came into your life with the agenda to break your mind, to hold your body and spirit captive, is happening to them.
Wow.
They couldn't convince you that you were a nutcase. They couldn't convince you to check yourself in and to allow yourself to be put under programs and treatments that will overly medicate you.
That's very true.
They couldn't break you to the point where you would do some shit that will force you into an institution, that will force you to be under someone's medical care and supervision. They couldn't get you to the point where you did some shit to your child or children.
That's
to where they're going to come.
Oh my word, that is true. That is, you know, I found the tub that I was, you know how I said that when I was in hospital I wasn't taking the medication? I wasn't taking the medication and I was storing the medication, but I couldn't remember where I put it at the time, and sister showed me later. But here's some of the medication that they had me taking in the fucking hospital that I weren't really taking. I said, I'm storing it because I'm telling you, when they test this, they know it's fucking psychiatric medication. Don't worry about it, you know. But this is evidence that they were feeding me poison, crimes against humanity. I had to keep every evidence, names, places, times, everything I've got, the fuckers, while I was in the mental health hospital. I told you I weren't mad. I've even got all my solicitor emails and everything, my tribunal case. They haven't sent me my minutes from my tribunal. Fucking Mason sitting in my tribunal. But it's lucky anyway, because Spirit told me don't say nothing when I go in there, just listen. And I had to sit there and listen to them lie about me. Of course I wanted to pop off, but my ancestors said don't pop off. So I never popped off. I just said, okay. But why haven't they sent me the paperwork? 3 times I've put in a Freedom of Information Act subject request, and now I can't get my paperwork. It's okay. This is why my spirit a week or so ago told me to reach out to this girl, you know, and I tried to message her on the thing. I had a message for her about her using, her voice is an instrument, and however it comes out, it just comes out. But also, it says to me to contact her because she's been in mental health a long time, she said. And my ancestors said it would be good to have someone like you that understands mental health, because not everybody understands mental health from a theoretical point or a practical point, but she should understand it from theoretical and she should understand it from practical, because in order to be in mental health that long, she would have had to study some elements of mental health. So she must understand the theory side as well as the practical side. But I don't know. It's just what my ancestors said. But we'll crack on anyway. I just wanted to touch on that point before we start.
And snatch these kids from you and have their way with your children.
Yeah, they had their way. They got my kids.
They couldn't do none of that.
They got my kids.
I'm seeing that movie. I didn't watch it because movies like that piss me off. They continue to perpetuate a trauma. But it's with Taraji P. Henson. I believe she's the main character.
Don't tell me.
I think the movie is about like her losing her child.
Yeah.
And losing her fucking mind.
I did not watch it. I did not watch. Listen. Pussy hole, Tyler Perry, suck cock. I mean, you do that on a daily anyway, because I know you're gay. I see ya. But listen to this, rude boy, because I don't like you. I don't know what it is, but my spirit team don't like you. They don't like you. They do not like you. You are manipulating the ancestors, walking around like you're going on like you with your blood clot mom and their friends, you dickhead. You're abusing their fucking energy. You're doing something. Let me not say. You carry on with your big bad self. But today, I was on Facebook looking for something, and I seen a new movie. Is it my girl, Gabriella? I think she's pregnant or something like that, and I can't remember who the guy was. And I thought, okay, that looks like a good movie. And my aunt sister said, is it fuckers? I bet it's fucking Tyler Perry. And when I scrolled down, of course, it was a Tyler Perry movie. You know what I mean? And you might think. Also, this guy's funny. His name's Yada. He's telling everybody, date 5 men at the same time, because that you need to know what you're doing. So, ladies, date 5 men at a time and may the best provider win. It's true. My ancestors told me, be a little bird, and you go around and you have a little look at what that one's got in his nest, and you think, nah, that nest is dirty. You go around to that one and you fly and look upon his nest, and you think, nah, that one's dirty. You know what I'm saying? No, a guy smiles at you, and next thing you know, he's the one you're dating. I don't think so. Go away with you go away with your Cheshire cat teeth. Anyway, there was a thing on Facebook. I was trying to look at the movie, but anyway, regardless of the movie, that's a really good idea. Regardless of the movie, of the Tyler Perry movie that I can't find, the point that I wanted to raise was this movie, what she's on about. It's that same woman who cried about not being paid, TRG or whatever her name is. She cried about not being treated fairly by Oprah and My Man, and now she's back with them, and they've brought her down to rock blood clot bottom because she looks. I mean, there's acting and there's acting. You know what I'm saying? There's acting and there's acting. This looks like she's gone past acting. This looks like she's setting this up for her future. I don't know. And the energy coming out the film was just projecting at me. Why is this woman running around in this day and age looking like a crackhead?
She's reached such a height in her career. How the fuck has she picked a crackhead film to star in when she's a queen? I don't know. And like I said, acting is acting. Don't get me wrong. Acting is acting. But you've just told everybody your story. How these people ain't treating you right. How you can't get paid the money that you're owed. And then you go and pick up a part like that. Make that make sense? I'd have told that person, fuck off. I'm not playing a crackhead, rude boy. You want me to play Cleopatra? You want me to do something decent and constructive? Fair play. But you can't be putting that out. And if she has, that just looks like she sold her soul, man. That looks like a humiliation ritual. Is this it? Tyler Perry, Miracle on 34th Street. Look at that. Look how shiny they made it look. He's a bad boy actor. She's a bad girl actor. She's a bad girl actor. Boo. But look how he's craped up everybody and got them in these music, just literally sucking out everybody's golden light energy. All of the fucking background just looks like it's trying to copy me. Look at me and look at it. I don't like how they're using the golden energy, because you're not of golden lineage. You're not of royal lineage. You're not of royal lineage. There's some fucking shit going on, you know. And if you know, you know. There's some fucking shit going on. There's some serious blood clot shit going on. And I told you already, it's black people doing it to fucking black people. Don't let them convince you that there's these white people running things. I don't think so. I don't think so. It's all an illusion. It's all an illusion. It's all an illusion. There's black people by the hind pulling fucking strings. No different than the fucking slavery situation. And probably even situations before that. Because even in Egypt days with Pharaoh and the Jews and everything, them people, it must have been black on black same way. When you deep it in terms of the times. Because ain't white people living out in Africa them times. There ain't no sun cream. Think about it. They can only spend 2 weeks in Tenerife. So how are you going to spend a lifetime in Africa? And don't get me wrong, yeah, there are people in Africa. But again, they have to take precautions that weren't necessarily there thousands of years ago. So you got to just use your little logic brain of what you know. And bear with it. I'm from the UK. I go on holiday and I get sunburn because I've been going on holiday like literally within 2 weeks of each other. I'm burning up out there. My skin's having to come back to the UK, replenish, and then go back out there. Because my skin isn't used to it. I've had 44 years in the UK. I ain't built up my melanin. I'm not eating the right food. I'm not taking the right vitamins in. I'm not drinking the correct water. So I'm not operating at my highest frequency. So things are going to affect me. No different. We're not all the same. As much as the world, the UK and America wants to go on like to say, oh, it's all about equality and diversity when really not in the gossip. Slavery has just moved into coverted working pay and job opportunities. It's all the same bullshit as far as I'm concerned. And I'm in the corporate world and I see the fuckery. And I'm one of the tokens. I'm the black girl that gets to go through. I'm the black girl that gets to sit at the big tables. But I'm the only fucker there half the time. Do you know what I mean? So as the blood clot token, I see what it's like on the inside really and the outside. And because I grew up with white people, my children's family, I got to understand certain nods, certain winks, certain looks, and what certain things mean and certain behaviour patterns. And oh, not you, Ashley, or not you, Asherah. It's everybody else, but it ain't me. You don't know. You get what I'm saying? Nah, fuck off, man. I've seen it from all angles, man. I told you I wrote the book on it. I got a book coming out called White Mum, Black Mum. It's a spin-off. It's not like Rich Dad, Poor Dad because it's a little bit more deeper. You know what I mean? It's not just about the finances. It's about a little bit of everything. But I know what it is to have a white mum. I've been raised by a white woman. And I've been raised by a black woman. I've had the best of both. And the worst of both. You know, so I don't just chat shit from a random perspective. I can draw on lived experiences. I know what it is to live. I lived with my white family from 13 years of age until we bought our own house. And his mum helped us. She's the one who put the furniture in there for us and got us all our white goods and that. But every day, me and Marie, we'd sit down. She's been my mum. She's robbing my mum. I used to take her advice over my mum's advice. Do you know what I mean? Because I just thought, no, I can be anything. My mum would say, oh, you're black and you're a woman, you gotta work twice as hard. Marie was like, yeah, you are a woman and you are black, but fuck it, you go in any room and you demand it. You command it. You own the stage. Completely different, two completely different messages, but both from women that were surviving. So yeah, anyway.
I'm just fucking losing her shit, fighting the system. I think it's a Netflix movie, and I believe it's Taraji P. Henson who's like the main character. I don't watch movies like that. That shit pisses me off.
Right.
And actors who continue to portray those roles, they piss me off too, because like they continue to feed that agenda.
There you go.
Like, why continue to get paid to perpetuate this bullshit?
There you go.
But anyway, something like that. That movie, I forget the name of that movie.
I know.
But you're meant to like lose your shit.
But I know what you're talking
and something
about.
being out of your control. It never fucking happened. The day never came. They can't take your kids from you. You don't have any crazy ass reports or any allegations that could stick.
Nothing.
These people have monitored you.
Nothing.
They purposely put you under stressful situations to see how you will respond.
That's it.
People cannot trigger you. This is like rage bait energy. People purposely trying to piss you off in your day-to-day life. These fucking entities who have a hidden agenda around the clock. Anything to provoke you because they felt like, and for many of you, you were provoked, and for many of you, you did go to a dark space, but it wasn't dark enough or you wasn't there long enough.
Mental health hospital.
So now it's like it went from that, you resisting. I'm hearing like you're the antidote to this anti-life energy, this anti-divine, anti-evolution energy here. You're the antidote. You're the remedy. So the stronger you become, the stronger the consciousness of evolution, of light, of divinity grows. Individually, divine masculine, divine feminine, the stronger you become, the stronger we become. We feed that consciousness. That's that new age of humanity. That's that evolution.
And beyond.
And we are in Aquarius. This is new age of humanity. Fear. So now they always feared you though. They always feared you. And it's not because they didn't understand. They knew exactly who you were at birth. They knew exactly who you were. It's like they were awaiting your arrival. I'm seeing a vision of like every divine masculine. It's not even, it's deeper than being just a divine masculine, divine feminine. This is like a higher level. I don't even have the title. It's much deeper than a divine masculine, divine feminine. It carries more weight. It's more influential. I don't have a title to use, being a hierophant or a high priest.
You know what the joke is? You know when I went to Bali 2 weeks ago from Bali, and the woman in Bali, the shaman, and I've put it up so you can listen to the video. But she says that, you know, you nearly died as a baby. They tried to kill you, but your ancestors stepped in and saved you. Now, I don't know about the whole thing, but my mum said I nearly died when I was a baby. That I had whooping cough and nearly died. They couldn't do anything for me. I just had to ride it out and I made it through, but they just sent me home with nothing. Do you know what I mean? So whether it be spiritual warfare or raw whooping cough, I know that when I was young, I had a near-death experience for true.
Okay, I'm just going to say that. You becoming a hierophant or a high priestess, these people already knew that you were going to be that, like this high-ranking spiritual being, but you had to discover divinity first in order to lock your spiritual ranking in. Imagine, like, and you see shows and movies like this all the time. I just can't reference any right now. I am seeing that show Raising Dion on Netflix as well. Like, imagine being like that. Those of you who know that show, a child who has these powers, but you were never groomed. So you walk around with these powers and you could be a fucking weapon of destruction.
I'm a weapon of destruction.
A weapon of destruction to continue to feed the anti-light, anti-divinity, anti-evolution, to feed that consciousness.
Yeah, instead of good.
But you learn discipline, structure. I feel like this is something really that took place in your adulthood. Something about when you was a child, someone tried to like groom your darker nature, your family members, your environment. That's why your childhood was like so fucked up and traumatic. For those of you where your childhood was traumatic, or you experienced like a lot of abuse and neglect and mistreatment, it was supposed to trigger your shadow side. And you were supposed to just be like becoming this dark ass little boy or little girl.
A guard dog.
But you didn't. So now these people fear you because
I have control.
not only did you not break and bend to their will, you have overpowered them as well. And you know that. You have power in knowledge and not just power, because power with no knowledge is dangerous, it's ruthless, it's unpredictable. You have power in knowledge, so these people fear it. Yeah, success and then death. See, that was the goal, to have a successful, to create some type of a successful ending, breakdown, an agenda, to end some type of an agenda here. The agenda to evolve humanity. This was their goal. To cause you to self-destruct. And they like come in and like take the victory.
You see?
And
not do any work, you know.
Would be a prolonged period of the fucking energy that we've been living in, the consciousness that we've been living in and enduring. They want to prolong that consciousness of humanity, that Pisces age of humanity. No, we're in the age of Aquarius now. Change must happen.
This is changing of the
gods. But it only happens if people get information. Yeah, service. You following your call. You becoming devoted to your path. It's deeper than you just being devoted to like this inner calling, this thing. This is you being devoted to a greater consciousness. You being devoted to a greater cause here that will shape humanity, that is shaping humanity. You getting up, answering your call, whatever your call is, showing up, fighting the odds, however you're called to step up and to walk your path. You contributing the way that you're supposed to contribute to. It's for the evolution of humanity as a whole. I think that's it from here. Yeah, discipline. It was all about that. You being very disciplined, you being very aware of self, of who you are. So you're disciplined, you're powerful, and you're purposeful. You're like a triple threat. Yeah, you are a true change maker. You bring change. You are a change barrier. Just like the age of Aquarius, that's that water barrier energy. You're changing the consciousness of humanity. Water energy through your spiritual path. Perseverance, exactly. You always had what it takes. These people knew it. I'm just being reminded of like reptilian energy. Alright? It's like reptiles, reptilian energy, or reptilian species versus like starseed species or something like that. And again, I know all reptilian species are not bad. Spare me the bullshit in the comment section. You can't, let me shut up, just spare me. You can't tell me something I already know. What else here, Friday? Yeah, bullying. Let's get a few out. Okay, so what I'm getting here, still show yourself. The agenda was to continue to like, this is like doing this to your bloodline. This is a generational curse, stronghold that was never meant to be lifted. And when I say doing this to your bloodline, I mean literally your bloodline, divine feminine, divine masculine, you, the children you produce, the grandchildren that come from your children, so on and so forth. Not necessarily your brother's bloodline, your sister's bloodline, your cousin bloodline, your bloodline, yours. So this is something that was meant to like go on for the rest of your bloodline, because you definitely have relatives who are complete opposite from you. They don't give a fuck about oppressing those people, because those people are already ran by those spirits who will continue to go against this change. But people like you that come from your blood, that come from your womb, or that comes from your semen, yeah, it's like, nah, your bloodline can't exist. But your cousin bloodline can. Your mama, daddy, brother, sister, uncle bloodline can. But your bloodline was meant to perish or meant to be held so much in captivity. But your bloodline was meant to be oppressed forever, because your bloodline is a bloodline that brings change. And this is why your literal family went against you. Because even though y'all are blood relatives,
we're not the same blood.
We all have different DNA signatures. Yeah. We all even though you have blood relatives, we all have blood relatives. But those of you where you were a victim and a sacrifice to your own blood relatives, like they tried to take you out, it's because they exist in that consciousness of these demonic forces. Now, how do I want to say this?
When you travel,
well, I'm glad she stopped, because I wanted to say what I
more
thought.
than just a business.
Put my 2 pence in. Obviously, I've talked about my DNA on the last couple of videos, that my DNA is literally more or less just pure African, and I can't understand why, when I've got so much mix up in my blood, as in looking at my parents and their parents and whatever else. But no, regardless of my parents, regardless of my grandparents, I've come out 98. I say 98, but it must be 97, because I'm sure it's 2% Portuguese and 1% Egyptian. But even if it is 1% Egyptian, that's African anyway. So we're just gonna say 98% straight African, mate. Straight African. I'm right African. That's what I am according to my DNA. No nonsense. Different parts of Africa too. Well travelled across Africa, my DNA is. You know. Yeah. So something in a something. Yeah, she's back on again. But something in a something, man.
Because I don't want to go too deep into this energy, and I don't want to talk about it like too long. I'm not supposed to talk about it right now, because they were just telling me, yeah, fairy, I'm not supposed to talk about it right now. I guess that's a part of my protection. Why? Like, that pisses me off, but whatever. Okay, so fury, protesting, and loss. Hold on 1 second. Alright, I'm back, because I really had a problem with that. Like, why can't I speak? Like, what the fuck is that about? So, your bloodline, even though we all come from a bloodline, each of our blood is different. Our DNA signature is different. Each of us produces a different level of intelligence and a different level of consciousness. Whoever you are, divine masculine, divine feminine, you literally, your DNA is literally made up of a higher vibrational consciousness. So therefore you will bear and produce and procreate a higher vibrational bloodline that is completely separate from your mother, your father, your brother, your sister. Just because we have blood relatives does not mean that we're all from the same bloodline. Okay? That's the information, that's the intelligence that they didn't want me to fucking broadcast, and it really pissed me off. And I'm like, nah, you're not gonna take my intellectual property from me. That's why. Okay, so you have been targeted because of your DNA. It starts with your DNA.
Yeah. And
the energy that makes up your DNA, your blood cells, your blood stems. You have a highly intelligent DNA system.
Yeah.
So anything
even
that you procreate
ChatGPT
and
said
that you groom, but you first have to be in the right mind, body, and spirit. I mean, you can procreate and not in the right mind and spirit, but you still got the right body. You still got the right DNA. You still got the right blood type. So you have children. Once your mind and spirit is clear, you teach your children the right things, coupled with the blood that you already fucking inherited. The blood that already runs in your veins is highly intelligent. So that highly intelligent energy that you produce internally, mixed with worldly intelligence, you are a fucking force that cannot be fucking touched. You're untouchable. And as you teach your children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, these are the bloodlines that will overthrow.
This is why they don't want me to home educate my children. This is why they took my kids off me. because I said I'm homeschooling them. One piece of palaver. I got authorization from 2 local authorities that I was living in, saying that, you know, they can't even give recommendations to my homeschool education plan. I had Warsaw local authority come out. They checked out my homeschooling plan. Said, fucking hell, this is brilliant. I wish we had this in my school. Do you know what I'm saying? It's another level, man. Freemasonry, black politics, world news, British history, proper British history, because the British do not disclose their full history. Okay, they're not telling you when bread was on the street and it weren't covered up. They're not telling you British history. You understand me? Proper British history. It's all these fucking narcissistic stories of when they won. Where you know what they lost to. You know what I'm saying? Because you only get a story when you get the whole story, and we need the whole story, thank you. We need the whole history of the black story. We need the whole story. How did Sudan today become Sudan the way it looks today? I want to know how the migration went and why the migration went. You know what I mean? I watched the history thing the other day, which I recorded, and it was telling you how the British went to Jamaica, and tried to conquer it and whatever, and the Maroons was busting their ass. I mean, who's heard them stories? I mean, most people in Jamaica have heard those stories, but outside Jamaica, you know what I mean? They're not telling you about the Maroons and the Arawak Indians and how they went on bad. You know what I mean? There's a lot of our stuff. You think we didn't fight? We fought, you know. We fought, man. We fought. We even fought in British wars, and they were supposed to pay the Africans. If you go to the Black Star in Ghana, you'll see the fallen soldiers that never ever was compensated for fighting in the front line in British wars. Never ever compensated. Those families never got their money. Yo, there's crimes against humanity that need to be fixed, man. And there's a whole bag of history that needs to come up. There's work to be done. Starting with the Bible. It is fact checking. I'm on it. I swear to God, I'm on it. I'm on it. Yeah. Intelligence, yeah, for a reason. I told you, I tapping into 100 different brains of consciousness. It's next level, man, but I love it. Fucking love it. Because if I can do that now, what am I going to be able to do tomorrow?